when we do the cutaway to the commercial, you have to howl. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we will preview this year's upcoming EASHL season. You're listening to Ace and the Bloodhound.
Oh, oh, oh! Welcome to our lovely city Krefeld, directly located at the River Rhine, in the most densely populated region of Germany. In the 18th century, the textile industry was responsible for the growth of the city. Since then, Krefeld is known as a city of silk weavers beyond its borders. Even so, only 220,000 citizens live in Krefeld. Today, the city offers a large variety and can play with the major cities of Germany. Krefeld is a city for sightseeing, of culture and events, architecture and a course of social life. Krefeld Zoo is the home of real Humboldt penguins. But what would be the city of Krefeld without its much-loved hockey team? The Krefeld Penguins have a long history. Since 1936, the club contrives ways to maintain in the ground among the top teams in Germany.
We want to reach a playoff with Krefeld Penguins and hopefully we win the championship in the future. Fans are really important. They push us every period and they bring us some goals. Yeah, the arena here in Krefeld is unbelievable for hockey, and the crowd is so close to the ice. Yeah, we are a hard-working team, and it's tough to play against us, and for you it's tough to win against us. Come here and find out. Let's fight.
And we are back. Finally, it is time to talk about something that has been missing from our lives, and that is the EASHL hockey season. The Krefeld Penguin are back after a brief time away from the ice, and I don't know about you, Bloodhound, but I could not be more excited.
That year off was one of the worst years of my life.
You know, we've been in studio, we've been making do, we've been talking about other things. But this is the real meat and potatoes of this show, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be kicking off this preview with a look at what is a fairly revamped Krefeld Penguin team. We've got a mix of returning veterans. We got some new guys in the mix. But I think that all in all, this is not the same team that people have seen on the ice.
No, there's going to be a lot of changes this year. But don't worry. We still have those tried and true up on the front line there. Starting with center Gristle McThornbody.
Yeah, absolutely. Gristle McThornbody, an anchor of this team, really would not be the black and yellow without this guy out there. But we've seen some concerns. We're through the preseason now. We've seen a lot of games, and Gristle was getting roughed up out there. I mean, he's had some issues. He's lost some weight. Doesn't look as comfortable out on the ice, and he's just getting roughed up.
He is getting hit all over the ice. It looks as though he was the laziest player in the offseason with maintaining his body.
Yeah, and there's also some whispers, some chatter that we've caught wind of. I've heard about a little bit of a controversy in the locker room. Bloodhound, do you know anything more about this?
This is interesting. I assume this is what he was spending all his offseason doing. He has been petitioning the league to change the score lines to read assists before goals. So that'd be assists, goals, and then points.
Wow. I can't say that I'm overly shocked. This is a guy we've had on the show many times before. And have you ever heard him once talk about a goal?
No. The only thing I can recall is him talking about the pass that led up to the goal, talking about the degree of difficulty of that pass, saying things like, "You're welcome," before the guy even scores. It's very interesting.
Yeah, great for him. It is something he's very good at. He's great distributing the puck. But, I think at the end of the day, goals probably still the more important stat line.
Yeah, for sure.
Fortunately for him, his number one goal scorer also returning to the team, Thick McRunfast in the wing position. He'll have that target to, Gristle will have that target to throw the puck to. But we've seen some concerns out of Thick in the preseason as well.
Yeah, he's been playing the role of Colonel Klink. He has been playing those posts like the Christmas bells in the holiday season.
And it's been frankly difficult to watch, but we got to give him some credit. If Gristle was the most lazy player of the offseason. Thick was the most active. I have heard rumors that this guy, up to 8 hours a day, was playing 3-bar on his ice at his estate. And, I think maybe the problem here is he's just gotten so accustomed to aiming for those posts from anywhere on the ice that I think for him, the muscle memory is hitting the post is a goal.
Yeah, it's concerning. He's going to be winning 3-bar competitions within the games in the first period. He's really got to shake that. I think the sound of the crowd cheering and the red light gleaming in his face is gonna shake him back into reality and have him start putting it in the net. But until those pipes stop playing, Danny Boy is going to be calling.
It's going to be an interesting thing to watch as the season progresses. Fortunately for the Pinguine, he's not alone as a goal-scoring opportunity. Slate Slamrock, who we've seen playing as a defenseman, he's moved back up. He's going to play wing and reform the Triforce. What do you think prompted this move to bring him back up into the offensive side of the ice?
He's the best option up there with the current lineup. He brings familiarity with the offense that they already run, a little bit of a goal-scoring touch, a great forechecker. But he's not the solution, at least not of yet. We really need somebody at that left wing to step up and swoop in there and get that red light going.
Speaking of swoop, I've heard two different theories as to why they ultimately made the decision to bring him back up. One, we've seen this in the preseason. We saw a lot of it where even as a defenseman, he seemed to be a little bit too preoccupied with the offensive side of the game, some questionable pinching, maybe not playing the puck in the defensive side as much as he should have, being worried about the breakout. But he was getting it done. He was an offensive force even in the defensive role. So I think this is a good move. But I've also heard that part of this is an economic decision. Up to 80% of the merchandise sold by the Pinguine is from their Swoop brand of merchandise, and I heard in the preseason that sales just plummeted.
Yeah, the Just Swoop It brand has been plummeting with him at that defensive role. He likes to get the crowd going when he just flashes across and lights that red light. Can't do that from the defensive end.
We wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully he is the answer at that position. And I'd like to think that, if he's going to be happy in that role on the offense, if scoring goals is going to make him smile, I think we should just smile back.
I agree.
So that does leave a vacancy back behind the blue line. Now, one thing that's never been in question, the stone that is the foundation of this defense is Big McLarge, who is back. Some fans from the most recently played season might remember Smoke Man Muscle. He used to be Big McLarge. He's changed his name back. We don't really know what's going on there. I've heard he's a very vain player and just wants as many different jerseys with different names on them as possible. But he will be holding down that right defensive position.
Yes, he is an interesting player because offensively he's basically an empty sweater. But in that defensive end, he runs the show. Now, this year's concern is the injury problem.
Yeah, so, the Krefeld Pinguine, they have team doctors, but part of Big McLarge-Hughes' contract is he has a private consulting doctor who reports come through that perhaps she is a little bit obsessive about his ice time. What do you know about this?
Yes, he has been going to this doctor outside of the team doctors, and she has been pulling him from several games for unlisted reasons. Now, the front office is in full support of any medical professional that says a player should not play, and that player, beholden to that opinion, not playing. But I got to think behind closed doors, that front office is really questioning her credentials.
Yeah, so, he's a great player to have on the ice. He's a big deciding factor in the wins and loss column. So let's just hope that Dr. Maya lets him play.
Yeah, I've actually seen the shirts being handed out in front of the stadium. Maya let him play, and it's a picture of Big McLarge right on there. So it'll be interesting to see if that grassroots starts growing.
Yeah, let's hope those fans have their voices heard. He's not alone back there in the defensive side of the ice. We do have several other players. We got a mix of returning veterans and kind of an unknown question mark. What do you know about this apparent juniors call-up that's in the wings.
Yeah, third-round draft pick from the 2013 draft. He has been playing in that junior league to see how that would work out for him, and he's really the unknown. Now, he's going to be side by side with Gristle McThornbody throughout the training process here, which could be to his detriment. But we really don't know what we're going to get from him, but he's definitely going to get a shot this year with the big club.
Well, so he'll have to earn his way in. We have two returning veterans that are looking to take that left defensive spot. First, always an interesting character, Bob Johnson returning to the ice. Now, he's had some concerns in the past. I know that he had a long-standing feud with the Krefeld equipment manager. He would frequently during games become angry with his stick, saying that the stick wasn't doing what it was told, and almost just generally acting as though physics didn't apply to him.
It's very, very odd when mistakes were made on his part, how those would be handled. Now, having that veteran presence with what we believe will be 1.5 positions open on that defensive end, I think he's going to get a lot of ice time. I think he's going to be that first replacement for Big McLarge on that other side. But yeah, he's got to work on figuring out what's going on and not thinking it's always the equipment.
Interesting. Now, the other veteran coming back to the team, some fans love him, some fans hate him. He's a very polarizing player. Bolt Vanderhuge.
Bolt Vanderhuge coming off reassignment surgery after being Helga Vanderhuge for a couple seasons, after being Bolt Vanderhuge, is back to Bolt Vanderhuge. I don't know how they do that, but he's back.
Modern medicine's incredible.
It is great. We support him in all his life choices. He's been a wonderful human being.
Now, you say wonderful human being, and I think from the perspective of a Krefeld Pinguine fan, that is true. But this is a man who's known as the biggest troll in hockey. I've heard him getting 2-minute minors for making other players cry.
Yeah, it's very interesting, his approach to the game. He misses practices all the time. He doesn't show up on some game days. It's very confusing. Now, he did have a recent life event that I think is what the Pinguines are hoping will bring him into the role in a more steady fashion.
Yeah, so Bolt Vanderhuge during the strike layover had a first child. We're very happy for you, Bolt, and the whole Vanderhuge family. And maybe this will change the perspective he has on life a little bit. Take what many considered an uncoachable player and turn him into someone who can be really relied upon.
He may need those paychecks for those diapers in the future.
Yeah. The final kind of unknown question mark of this new Krefeld Penguin team, they've got a whole new goaltender. This is not a guy who's played with the team previously, kind of picked up out of nowhere. No one's heard of him. What's the scouting report on Flint Ironstag?
Flint Ironstag is an off-season pickup that the management of the team during the lockout went to a lot of soccer games, and they saw this goalie score a goal. We're going to play the clip right now for you. Hold on.
Up off the feet, they were expecting a little bit more than that.
Playing up.
Good movement to get to it.
Get that, Jose.
Gritty.
Oh.
Look at the fender off my
Oh!
dick.
Wait! It hit his defender and went over his hand? Is that what happened? No, it just went in.
Oh my god.
I don't understand. That's incredible. I normally don't give credit to anything that comes out of the sport of soccer, but that was a brilliant display of athleticism.
Yeah, they want that kind of offensive ability in that on their team, and they immediately signed him.
So, it'll be interesting to see how he winds up translating in a change of sport like that. I know he changed the name. He doesn't want any of the people that hold his contracts in the soccer world to know that he is now playing in the EASHL. But one thing we noticed in the preseason, he's a little inconsistent. I don't know if it's just the change of goal size has flustered him or what, but he seems to come up really big with some big saves, but he's been missing very routine shots.
Yeah, I think that's part of being a rookie and being at this level, is that you're going to let in that 1 or 2 a game that you shouldn't have, and you got to get rid of those. But when you pull 1 or 2 off the board in the same game, you're coming out even. So if you can put those 2 together, you're going to look great.
You know, I think that the general trend here, we've been so far removed from hockey for a year or so now. I'm excited to see this team back on the ice. It's a different team. You know, we've got different players. We've got some different strategies. I know they worked on some new stuff during the preseason. Even we'd been talking with coaches recently. Even the Triforce isn't necessarily safe.
Yes, coming back out of the lockout year, the offense is going to take some time to get it going again, and the Triforce is their main method, but it appears in the preseason that some teams have adjusted to it. So I would assume with Slamrock coming back to the front line and not having been on it for the preseason, that they might still try to see how it's going to work out. But I would assume that we're going to see some adjustments to that moving forward.
It'll be exciting to see how the season shapes up. You know, and exciting for everyone who is a fan of the Krefeld Pinguine. You know, before we go, I do want to mention our sponsors are the Pinguine. They've got an ongoing contest. They have a new confectionery treat. There's a picture of it on the website. You can go and see it. They're holding a contest to name it, and the winner will receive season tickets for this upcoming season. Any final thoughts before we go, Bloodhound?
Just remember that we do have the concert coming up this weekend at the Palace. It's going to be Dell's Dubstep. We want to make sure that you guys get out there and get some tickets. We'll be giving them away in the next hour, so stay tuned.
All right. Well, we'll be back throughout the season for updates and check-ins with the team. We'll leave you now with a quick clip of Dell's Dubstep to get you guys excited for this concert promotion. Until next time, this is Ace and the Bloodhound.
Ooh!
You'll be the 2 girls, she'll be the cop.